All right, today we're diving into something really interesting. It's a project called OpenBNC, and it lives right at the crossroads of two of the biggest trends in tech right now, AI and crypto. And it all starts with one single, really powerful question that could totally change how we think about our digital world.
So that's the big question right there. What if AI agents were first-class citizens of the decentralized web? Now, think about that for a second. This isn't just about, clumsily plugging an AI into the blockchain. No, this is about treating AI agents like they belong there, like they're native citizens. It's a huge idea for sure, but before we get into how it works, we've got to understand the problem they're trying to solve. So what's the deal? Why does something like OpenBNC even need to exist? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Right now, we've got these two massive, powerful tech ecosystems, and they barely talk to each other. Okay, so on one hand, you've got the AI world. I mean, it's amazing at intelligent automation, right? Then, over here, you have the crypto ecosystem, which is just brilliant at trustless value exchange. But look, there's this huge chasm between them. The way the project's own documentation puts it, and I love this phrase, is that the connections we have now are just clumsy integrations and fragile wrappers. Basically, they're taped together, and it's not a great solution. And that's exactly where OpenBNC steps in. It's designed to be the bridge that finally connects these two worlds.
Okay, so let's get specific. What is OpenBNC? Well, at its core, it's an experimental open source project, but the key words you really need to hear are these: lightweight, self-hostable, and designed for the crypto-native world. See, this isn't just another AI tool. It's a very specific kind of engine, a runtime, that was built from day one with decentralization baked right into its DNA. And when you pop the hood and look at the code, you can see just how serious they are about this. Almost the entire project, we're talking over 94%, is built in Rust. Now, if you're a developer, you know exactly what that means. That choice just screams performance, safety, and reliability. And think about it. In the world of crypto and decentralized finance, a simple bug like a memory leak isn't just an oopsie, it's a potential disaster, a huge security hole. So having that kind of built-in safety isn't just a feature, it's absolutely essential.
So all of this technical stuff serves a much bigger, pretty ambitious vision. So what's the endgame? Well, first, it's about letting you deploy your very own personal autonomous AI agent. Second, and this is huge, is letting that agent talk directly to protocols on the blockchain, the smart contracts, the rules, with absolutely zero middlemen. And third, it's about lining up the incentives, marrying the power of AI compute with the economic models of crypto. The ultimate goal? To just completely dissolve the barrier between running an AI and actually being part of a decentralized network. Okay. A vision that big has to be built on a solid foundation, right? For OpenBNC, that foundation comes down to three core principles. All right, principle number one, these agents are autonomous by default. And this is a really important distinction to make. We're not talking about your average chatbot that just sits there waiting for you to ask it a question. Nope. Think of it more like an active employee. It can schedule its own tasks, it can keep an eye on things, and it can take action all on its own without you having to tell it what to do every single step of the way.
Second principle, it's self-hostable and sovereign. And this one is all about ownership, your ownership. You run the agent on your computer, on your server. What does that mean for you? Well, for starters, no platform lock-in. You're not stuck with one company. But maybe even more important, it means there's no big third party spying on you and harvesting your data. You and only you are in complete control.
And number three, it's provider agnostic. Honestly, this is where their approach gets really smart. They're basically betting that no single AI model is going to rule the world forever. Things change too fast. So they built OpenBNC to be super flexible. You can actually swap out the brain of your agent, the large language model it's using, without having to tear down and rebuild the whole thing. It's future-proofing. All right, so we've talked a lot about the why behind all this. Let's shift gears and get into the how. What does this actually look like when the rubber meets the road?
And boom, here's a perfect example of that third principle, being provider agnostic in action. The flexibility is right there, built in from the start. If you want maximum privacy, you can run models locally on your own machine using Allama. If you want a massive selection, you can tap into more than 100 different models through OpenRouter. Or you can stick with the big industry players like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. The point is, the choice is completely yours.
Okay, so the agent has a brain, but it also needs a mouth and ears, right? It needs to communicate. And again, the whole philosophy here is to meet you where you are. The agent can plug into the tools you're probably already using every day. We're talking Telegram, Discord, Slack, heck, even good old-fashioned email. It brings all of its power right into the workflows you already have.
Now, for any of you out there who code, you're gonna love this. Getting started is refreshingly simple. It's pretty much the standard three-step dance. Clone the repository, build the web dashboard, and then build the main Rust binary. That's it. It's clearly designed to be accessible so that developers can just dive in and start playing around right away. Once you've got it built, you basically have two modes to run it in. First, there's the gateway command. Think of this as your development mode. It just spins up the web dashboard so you can get in there and tweak the settings. But when you're ready to go live, you use the daemon command. That's the real deal. That's what brings your agent to life, flips on all its communication channels, and kicks off the scheduler that lets it do things on its own. So that brings us to the big question. Where is the project at right now? And what's their philosophy moving forward? The creators are super upfront about this, which is honestly so refreshing. They're not trying to sell you some polished, finished product. They say it loud and clear. This is an experiment, and it's built on this really cool idea that the most amazing breakthroughs happen in public, when a whole community is building and learning together. So the big takeaway for you here is that OpenBNC is still in its very early experimental days. APIs are going to change, things are going to break, and they're telling you that's part of the plan. It's intentional. This project isn't for somebody who wants a perfect, out-of-the-box solution. It's for the pioneers, the builders, the people who get excited by the messy process of discovery and aren't afraid of a few bumps in the road. And really, that's what this is all about. OpenBNC isn't just a piece of software. It's a tool for building a bridge to a totally new kind of future. A future where smart, autonomous agents can operate and transact on their own in a truly decentralized world. That barrier we talked about at the beginning, it's starting to crumble. And so, that leaves us all with the most exciting question there is. What will you build?